I have to get everything off of the desk, put the new desk in its place, and then put everything back on the desk. This is the part I've been worried about. First rule of doing things like this is to deal with the easy, obvious things first. Do I need this many pens? I probably don't use this many pens. I could probably clear that out. Bunch of business cards from networking events that people shoved into my hand. Special pack of cards I like very much. Bit of coin rolling. Cards. I took this away, but I need this. A lot of the stuff that's on there is gonna go right back on, so it doesn't all need to get unplugged, but it's better that I turn it off. This is also from IKEA. That's just a wall shelf. It's literally just a wall shelf that I stuck four legs on and turned into, I have no idea what this is from. Save it just in case. Anytime you're doing something like this, you should always, you should always take a moment to dust before you start moving stuff around. So I'm gonna go grab. Well, this is it. The goal is to get, where do I have light? The goal is to get this whole thing out of the studio in one piece, because I could easily repurpose this table. I'm going to attempt this on my own. I may need to call in reinforcements if I have trouble. And this is definitely a job for gloves. The good news is this actually can be taken apart if necessary. Okay. It got in this room in one piece, so I know it can get out. Bring me the moving blanket from the, The wife is the hero, but she doesn't want to be on camera right now. The things we do for YouTube, it's not enough that I'm actually making this work. I'm moving the camera so you can see how I'm making this work. I'm swinging around this way, leveraging this open space. Okay, now that the table is out of here, I can actually put this thing in place. Oh my God, this is so heavy. So I need to measure, because the bass traps that are gonna go behind the monitors, the speakers, are 4 inches thick. So they're gonna come out 4 inches from the wall. So I need to make sure that I actually have room, and I think I might need to pull this a little bit further out. Let me get one of these bass traps so I can see if I have enough room. These are gonna go on the wall, and there's no way these have got to come out. Oh, you know what? Before I start doing all this, let me make sure the table's level, because it's an old house, and I think that my old desk was lower on this side than it was on this side, because I think this room slopes just a little bit, but enough to make a difference. Oh yeah, it's not level. Look at this. I think I need to raise it up a little bit on this side. And this seems like it's gonna be a big deal, but it's not. These legs have a system where at the bottom you can screw and unscrew them and it changes the height. All right, that might have been too much, but let's find out. It wasn't even too much, a little bit more. And we are level. Problem now is that there's this gap. So basically what I need is something to put this end up a little bit higher. Temporary solution, I grabbed, oop, that's empty. I grabbed some of these that I had lying around and I decided to just add one here, even though this technically is still crooked. In the meantime, the monitors sit on these pads. They're called RLX, and they are sound absorption. They make sure that the frequencies don't get transferred to the desk, which then would make them much more pronounced and reverberate and all kinds of things that you don't want. But they used to be up higher, and so I had them angled down. These components go like this, so there's all kinds of different configurations that you can put these in. And the whole idea is you want the tweeter, this part, the part with the high range frequencies, you want this pretty much exactly at your ear level. So if I'm sitting here, now I'm pretty tall. I literally went out of frame just now. I'm pretty tall, so this is still a little bit lower than my ear. So I'm gonna try to angle it up a little bit. So now, by facing it the opposite direction, now we've got it pointed up where it's actually pointing right at my ear. And the bass trap is gonna go kind of like that. So now if I'm sitting here, I've got both of these angled right at my listening position, which is fantastic. Look at this. As long as I have to set everything back up anyway, I thought I would talk you through all the different components that go into this setup. This is my audio interface. This is what powers my entire system. I usually sit this kind of back here. USB gets plugged in, and then the power. So what I've got here are 4 XLR inputs, and then gain knobs for each of those. And then I've got my phantom power. This is a mixer, so I can change how much I want to hear the direct inputs versus whatever's coming out of the computer. This is the mains that goes to my speakers, so I can decide how loud I want the speakers. And this is the headphones, and I can decide how loud I want the headphones right there. This unit itself is made by PreSonus. Almost everything I use for audio is PreSonus. I use their hardware, I use their software, and I use their speakers. These are both PreSonus speakers. These are 8-inch Aris 8s. They are active speakers. That is Dusty, hang on. They are active speakers, which means each of these speakers has its own power. Each speaker has a power switch on the back that you flick on, and because they're active speakers, they both have all these controls on the back, which mostly help you fine-tune the speakers for your particular room. Super useful. Professional XLR that goes into the speaker, professional 1/4 inch, high quality 1/4 inch that comes out of the interface. This is my left, so I just took the left out into here. Doing a little bit of cable management as long as I'm doing this. This is a headphone amplifier. This goes out of the headphone jack and allows me 4 powered headphones, each with their own control. So if I had up to 4 people here in the room, me and 3 other people, each of us could pull high quality audio out of here adjust our own audio, so each of us could decide how loud we wanted it. And my headphones, and these are studio standards. It's Sony MDR 7506s. These are standard headphones for tracking. Not great for mixing, but great for tracking. Going into a long extension cable into the interface or the headphone amp, depending on which one you're using. I'm not using the headphone amp right now. That long cable means that I can sit anywhere in the room and grab the headphones and still use them from the computer, which is great. Scissor arm for a microphone. I use this for podcasting, except it would appear that this is not quite long enough because this is a really long table. So I'll have to play with the position of this. I want to make sure that it can get out of the way when I'm doing listening, so that there's nothing between me and the monitors. XLR cable, just coming around the back and going into input 1 in the interface. Trusty Google Home, very important. My coaster to protect the table. This is one of my Long Live Rock coasters from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Beautiful. Hello Google Home, thanks for joining us. Obviously super important SD card thing, because the SD card slot on Macs are at the back, and this has multiple different slots, so it makes it easier. I will probably at some point Velcro that to the desk so that it can't move. Lots and lots of USB slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USB data transfer slots and 3 fast charging slots. Goes into 1 USB at the back. This actually has Velcro on the bottom of it, and I will at some point when I decide where I want this, Velcro it to the desk. Usually I use this thing to sit my Bluetooth headset on, but it's actually meant for headphones. But yeah, these headphones are gonna end up going underneath. I have a whole bunch of other things that are gonna need to get plugged in, like one of my main 6 terabyte external hard drives. I am not sure where to put that yet. All of these Magic, speaking to. I have a different drive for every different type of. Lots and lots of cables for different charging purposes. Cable management. This is very important. I gotta plug the computer back in. What if I used this? Hot damn. Use that little shelf as a way to get some stuff off the ground back there and manage some of my cables and everything a little bit better. Let's turn on these speakers. Get that nice blue glow. Okay, first test of the listening position. Well, I gotta tell you, the stereo imaging that I'm hearing with this new setup is so much better than the imaging I've been hearing with them up higher and not exactly pointed directly at me. I mean, this is amazing. It's gonna totally change how I hear all my mixes. Actually, let me pull up one of my recent songs. So I've been finishing a rock opera that my dad and I have been recording together for like 4 years. The new curtains just came out of the dryer. A little permanent press to try to get some of the wrinkles out. I got 2 identical purple curtains to put up on this window. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and call it quits for the day. This was a very, very productive day. Very, very successful. I'm feeling really good about the studio rebuild now. But I do have a dining room table sitting in my upstairs hallway. So I also have a very sleepy wife who's been putting up with all of my noise. I am so happy with how all of this came out. Oh man, I gotta clean up all this extraneous stuff, and next time I see you, we are going to start putting acoustic panels on all the walls and the ceiling and the corners, and it's going to be quite a process. So thanks so much for sticking with me on this journey, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.